In case y'all missed a speech by Michelle Obama at the DNC convention, maybe you should try and go look at it so you can do something, because apparently that's what they want us to do, something. They didn't tell us what, just something. If you can figure it out, please let me know. But we're going to go over some points in the do something speech is what I'm going to call it from now, the do something speech, and to see if she actually told you what you could do. So let's go over a few things. Now, throughout the speech, she made a whole lot of references to emotional baggage. Like every turn was to get you riled up to, well, like she said, do something.
In America, we do something. And throughout her entire life, that's what we've seen from Kamala Harris.
But at no point did she tell you what that something was outside of, something. So we're going to go over some of the somethings. Every time I think about this, it confuses me, but we're going to try and figure out what those some things are. We also had some guest appearances in the audience from some people, and we'll show you who those are, by the way. And one point in her speech, she talked about her mom telling her that, they were not wealthy and they had no intention of being super wealthy because they always knew that people who were wealthy went and got things that they didn't need or more than they needed.
She and my father didn't aspire to be wealthy. In fact, they were suspicious of folks who took more than they needed. They understood that it wasn't enough for their kids to thrive if everyone else around us was drowning.
Ironically, she is speaking from the perspective of someone who got more than they needed. So I don't think that the mom's lesson fully took root in Michelle because she went on to be the exact same thing her mom told her not to be. She also said, if you saw a need, make sure you go and do it. Go out in the community.
So my mother volunteered at the local school. She always looked out for the other kids on the block. She was glad to do the thankless, unglamorous work that for generations has strengthened the fabric of this nation.
Ironically with that too, she ain't done that neither. So far, we're batting zero of the things you could do and ain't done. She asking you to do something. She been told she need to do something and she ain't done it yet. But she did the opposite though. So I guess in hindsight, she did do something, just not what she was told. So she went out, got super rich, never gave none of it away. And she never went out into the community like her mom did and helped nobody. She's exactly the opposite of what she said she reveres her mom for. In another part of the speech, she comes in talking about joy.
The steadiness of her upbringing, the honesty of her example, and yes, the joy of her laughter and her light.
Hey, everybody know that's a new talking point, right? We need joy. There's nothing but quite like joy. Have some joy, joy. They couldn't tell you what joy means. And they know it's a name. They probably can name their friends that, but they have no idea what this joy is supposed to be. Why? Here's the thing. Emotions can override logic like that. Logic has a harder time overriding emotions. And they know that. They don't have to have anything they say make sense. It can be completely contradictory, but as long as you're involved in the emotional wave, you'll buy it. And there were littered throughout the audience people who were just absolutely soaked in this emotionality. The other thing she mentioned, which I found kind of weird, she said something that they always ascribe to Mr. Trump as a negative thing, because what they keep telling you is it's the opposite of what America is. This is what she said. You need to do the things that always made America great. Now, I've always heard people say, when was America ever great? Name one time America was ever great. Michelle, please tell me, what did you mean by America always great?
Of the two major candidates in this race, only Kamala Harris truly understands the unseen labor and unwavering commitment that has always made America great.
Has America always been great? I thought y'all were the ones that say it wasn't. I'm 100% sure that's all I ever heard. That America was never great. Its foundations was always awful. They started with the whole idea of this God thing, get rid of all that. I thought it was never great. So how now it's always? It gives you opportunity now? She said that too, by the way. She said America gives you opportunities galore. That's all you have is opportunity. You have the options to go further ahead than anybody else in the world. But I also thought you were the ones that said you were oppressed. You're some of the most rich and blessed oppressed people I ever saw in my life. If I could be oppressed like you, man alive. Please tell me how you did it. How did you succeed being oppressed? Multimillionaires, multiple books. You got to the president, you ruled America, mind you. But yet still you're classing yourself in a division when talking to these people of never having made anything good in your life. How do you do it, Michelle? I really want to know. How do you manage to lie so fluently about your place in America as though you are victim? Not just victim. You've never made any headway. You don't have any generational wealth to hand forward. That's the only thing you've actually followed your mom on. You got generational wealth. I'm not going to go into how you made that wealth, by the way. I mean, we could. And then we're going to start realizing why you think the way you think. Because if we did go into how you made your wealth, there might be some questions about it. It might come out that the way you made it was on the backs of the people you're talking to right now. But I digress. As far as you being so successful, I'd like to know how you made it. You only have to look as far as your bank book, right? But you did it. So, but no one else can. The whole country. This is how the craziness of your speech is. The entire country is against you, but at the same time, it's great. But it's not that great because you can't make it. But the intent of the country was for you to make it. But the intent of the country was to suppress you. You can't even make up your mind. No wonder Kamala Harris can't come out and say what she got to say. She's confused as you are.
Okay. A friend in need is a friend indeed.
Okay, I can first. Okay, so this time.
You just happen to be smooth with it. You learned a lot from your husband. I'll give you that much. You learned a lot from him how to be a smooth talker. It's rubbed off. So I can say that at one aspect, he's leading well. But at the other aspect, he don't know how to lead either. Now, one other thing you said was quite surprising, but not really surprising because the person that you are and the party that you support is all for the erasure of the child. You said that we want the children to thrive. I have a question. Oh, and love who they want to love. Okay, this is also what you said. The children should love who they want to love. Can I ask a question? Can dead children love who they want to love? It's just a question for me. I mean, I'm just asking for anybody else. How are those children who you've figured out their life to love who they love?
None of that will prepare our kids for the future. Demonizing our children for being who they are and loving who they love. Look, that doesn't make anybody's life better.
Let's just ask a question. You say that they're born a certain way, right? Let's just say that children are indeed born either trans or gay. How many of them have you guys put to death?
Taking away our freedom to control our bodies, the freedom to become a mother through IVF like I did, those things are not going to improve the health outcomes of our wives, mothers, and daughters.
You don't care about their right to love who they want to love, though. That's different. Is that different, though? I'm just making sure I get the picture right. That you're all for the children, just not arriving. You're for the sentiment of children, but not in reality. I mean, you already had yours by IVF at your own admission, by the way. I mean, you couldn't do it naturally. So I want to make sure I get this completely right.
In an exclusive interview with ABC's Robin Roberts ahead of the book's release, Obama talks about their decision to do IVF after years of trying to conceive.
The biological clock is real because egg production is limited. And I realized that as I was 34 and 35, we had to do IVF.
For you, there are rules. For other people, there are no rules. But you want to use the rule that you applied to you to get the sentimental value from them for them to vote the way you want them to vote. I get it. Look, if it's a grift, that's mwah, you're good. You are good. Because on the one hand, you're proving to them, I did it. I did it. You can too. And then you turn around and tell them, but make sure you do what's good for your body. You don't want that child killed. Please kill. I don't understand how the split happens. On the one hand, you want full body autonomy And the life that you're ending, you're saying we should care about because it loves who it loves. You never give it the chance. You don't want to give it the chance. It's not here. It's not life. You can't even decide when that life begins, by the way. But you want to convince us that you're for reproductive rights. Do you understand what the word reproductive means? It's not the option to reproduce, it's reproducing. Non-reproductive choice is what you're actually advocating for. I want to make sure you guys understand the words properly, because I don't think, who is it, Diego Mateo on Princess Bride? I don't think that word means what you think it means. That's not what reproductive means. To reproduce, you have to what? Produce after your kind, not end the reproduction of after your kind, which is what you're all about, aren't you? But hey, I understand. You already had yours. It's good. A lot of the people, and it's weird, right? 100% of the people that are for abortion are here. What about the ones who are against abortion? What about them? I thought also in your speech that we're all trying to get to the same place. Just not those, though, because they disagree with you. Okay, how about this? What about the ones who are going to be pro-abortion? You know how many of those you've ended? You don't know because you don't care. You're in where you're in. You're in your space right now. The double standards are insane with you. Absolutely insane. You talk about Kamala's qualifications and can't name one. And the ones that you think you name are exactly the opposite of what she's done. You thought about she's for all the rights of people and making sure she put criminals in jail. You mean the same criminals she kept imprisoned for her own labor? Those people? You mean the ones she arrested for marijuana use while she was smoking it up and laughing?
Have you ever smoked?
I have.
Okay.
And I inhaled. I did inhale. It was a long time ago.
That's what you're talking about. That Kamala? How she pulled herself up by the bootstraps? Is that what she did? No. You mean the same woman that slept her way to the top? That's the one you're talking about. Well, I'll tell you this much. You got one thing right. She did made sure that she made it to the top, however she had to. Whatever she had to step on, whatever posture she had to assume, whoever she had to betray, whatever child she had to track, she did to get where she got.
I was extradited to the state of California and denied due process. Not only was I denied due process, but my son was denied due process. So she definitely could have prevented my son from being sex trafficked, forced to do child pornography, being held for ransom, and attempted forced gender change. Kamala Harris could have prevented all those things from happening to my son by just upholding the law and not being biased and protecting her union boss.
You don't understand the first meaning of the word moral. If you did, there is no way on God's green earth you could ever stand for the castration of children or the murder of them. But here you are, Miss High and Mighty, Miss Rich, and I got money. I made it. I got generational wealth, talking down to everybody that they will never get it. While at the same time telling them, if you just elect her, you'll get it. You're for Black America while making sure they have every bit of Planned Parenthood littered throughout their community. You, a Black woman, up for debate. You, a Black woman. You talk about reproductive IVF while you're promoting at the same time the destruction of the same life you say you implanted into you. The entirety of your speech was vitriol, masked in sugar. You know exactly how to poison people sweetly. And there are people who are silly enough to drink it happily. They Jim Jones it all the way down. Because you're a great salesman, just like your husband. Great at sales. Horrible at delivery, but great at sales. Everybody buys it. And they keep waiting for the delivery, though. You keep sending them emails saying your delivery's on the way. Hey, it's 4 days out. Oh, we ran into a snag, but it's still coming. and them just sitting in the corner expecting all kinds of change and hope and joy and love and prosperity, and never shows up. Meanwhile, you show back up another 4 years later. Hey, you remember that stuff I ordered? So what happened was, right? See, what happened was we ordered it, but then we realized, man, we didn't give you enough. So we called the order back. So what we're going to do is add more. And I mean, for free, we'll add more. It'll be here next week. 4 years later. Okay, so here's what happened. We got more for you 4 years later. And y'all keep buying it. Hook, line, sinker. Why? Because it's delivered so sweetly. So sweet and genteel. And then with emphasis on the right thing. Coming from the person that has everything they're telling you they want to give you, but they never give it to you. Okay, let me ask you a question. When was the last time you saw Michelle Obama out in the hood? With like, a pot on the side, helping people cook and stuff. Oh, okay, name one project that she helped build to get better buildings at the behest of the government. When do you see that? That didn't happen? It's odd because she mentioned her mom doing that into the neighborhood, taking kids under her wing. Did she do that? No. Has her husband ever been in the hood? I mean, honestly, has he? No. Never grew up there. He don't know the struggle, but he keeps saying that he do. And y'all believe him. Why? Because he dark. Meanwhile, the people who do grow up in the hood tell you they've grown up in the hood. They're a pariah. Namely, people like Ben Carson, who grew up on Section 8. He a sellout. He grew up where you grew up, mind you. Made it out. Literally made it out. Those two that just spoke, Obama and his wife, never made out of anything. They always had money. But you believe them. That they're about you. They know us best. Having never given a dime or any damn time to you. But they're believable. You know why? Because they can make you cry. The same exact way that Kamala Harris is doing. Playing with your emotional strings like the most sophisticated violin player. Not realizing that you're the string. And the reason you only think it sounds good is because you think you're hearing your own self. And they're lying to you. The rest of us are hearing what's playing. You're hearing, and what we're hearing is, and we're trying to tell you, they're not playing the right fiddle. They're playing something funky. Get out the way. But you're entranced with all of the ineptitude that they put forward in such sweet, sultry statements. I will give them this much. They are good at what they do. But don't forget, the person that they brought on stage, that Oprah lady, said the same thing. An abuser, if they're any good, will make it feel good. It's weird that she'd know that, one. But secondly, it's not that weird because she's been doing it. And the people in the government, like Michelle, like Kamala, are proficient at making their victims feel as though this is normal. I want to abuse you, but don't worry. I'll do it sweetly. I will promise you the moon and deliver you just a single match. And then I'll just douse it out with water and tell you that was the other guy. And I'll keep offering you matches that are wet and tell you, don't worry, one day it'll light. It's not lighting. No, don't worry, hope. Wake up, people. I'm not saying that that government's going to fix you. It's not. What we're hoping is that you open up your eyes and your mind to logic, to stop listening to emotionality and listen to logic. Look back and see exactly, have they ever fulfilled anything they've told you? This is why we on the right, the conservative, have become so disenfranchised with people on the right, the political right, doing anything for us. We know they're not going to. We've seen it. We don't trust them to do anything. We're not holding them in like, one day. No. Instead, what we do, we'll start putting people forward who have been through the struggle to hopefully get in. We'll still hope on that one, but we're not going to hope for a failed economy to somehow just flourish to life, especially when the people that are behind it are banking on it failing. We're not that delusional. But that audience in front of Michelle was filled with delusional people, and they were happy with it. They're in bliss of their ignorance. I don't know if they'll ever snap out of it. I really don't know. Because this entrancement is so well done. Get out there and do something. Feels good. Do something. What? Do something. They'll never tell you what to do. They'll just tell you the results of doing something, even though they never tell you how to do it, what to do, when to do. Just do it. They're Nike. Just do it. Do what? It. The entirety of that speech was cotton candy, painted green, and made to look like lettuce and tell you it's healthy. And all your teeth fall out. You're diabetic now, high blood pressure, you're obese, you can't hardly walk. But you walk around with cotton candy saying, I got some lettuce. I've been eating healthy since the day I was born. I'm so healthy now. And I just keep eating this lettuce. And this lettuce has never failed me. And somebody come and tell you, that's not lettuce, buddy. That's cotton candy. No, it ain't. Yeah, it's cotton candy. You're a bigot. You don't know what you're talking about. You just hate the truth. Okay. Eat your lettuce, buddy. Eat your lettuce. And there you are on your deathbed now, panting for breath, realizing, crap, that was cotton candy. Too late. You made your bed. Lay in it.